Hello, my name is Eric Bray, and right now I'm actually battling a cold, so I apologize if I cough or sneeze or something like that during this presentation. In any event, for the literature review, I decided to look at professional development, specifically professional development as it pertained towards problem-based learning in the K through 12 mathematics classroom. Professional development, teacher training, has been an interest of mine for quite some time now, and I think will continue to be so for quite a while. But problem-based learning is something that I only learned about fairly recently and only slightly before this class. I think it has a lot of potential in mathematics. Mathematics is known as an area where we solve problems, and so it seems like a potential really nice fit for delivering information and for student learning. During my review, I certainly started with the articles that were presented in class, but from top to bottom, I looked at close to 40 different articles, but settled on approximately 15 of them. It might be slightly higher than that in the end result. Some of the keywords that I looked at were naturally terms like problem-based learning or the acronym PBL, teacher training or professional development, and math education. And certainly I started to cross-reference these separate terms and saw some really interesting things. During my review, I faced two separate challenges. Number one, as we discussed in class, problem-based learning has been done largely in the medical field, in medical schools for future doctors and nurses and so on. And so it turns out that there's not that much information about its effectiveness in the K through 12 arena, and again, specifically to math either. The second challenge that I encountered was that there was seemingly too much information on effective teacher training or professional development. And so it became hard to parse through. Certainly, I did see some themes, which I certainly implemented, but there was just a lot of information there. Some of my core findings, again, as I said before, problem-based learning seems like it can have a lot of potential for student learning, especially when you compare it to something like a lecture style. And I actually did a fair amount of reading on traditional lecture style approaches. The reason being is that math teachers, even the most progressive ones, have a really hard time implementing strategies outside of the traditional norm. It turns out math teachers are stuck in a recursive pattern, which somewhat surprised me, although maybe it shouldn't have, that a teacher learns something as a student and then uses that same strategy, or at least a fairly similar one, to deliver information to his or her students. And so that a pattern has continued and perpetuated for many, many years. So getting teachers to do different things, even though they've been instructed in separate means, has proven very challenging. I looked at a number of strategies that have been used to perpetuate an alternative means, such as problem-based learning. And one of the more effective strategies I looked at was just simply keeping current with professional development, so providing ongoing and advanced professional development, specifically in this area of problem-based learning. As these findings impact my research, I think professional development will remain an interest of mine for quite some time. If anything, this literature review opened my eyes to some other notions that are out there. But most significantly was that, again, problem-based learning has been implemented in the medical areas for quite some time, and the outcomes are more or less predictable from those. But we need to look at them more significantly and more closely as they can be used in the K through 12 classrooms. And once we start to see some more effective strategies, we can talk a little bit more about effective professional development for implementing those strategies. Thank you.